Straight ahead on CCX News, say it isn't snow. Spring turns winter-like, leaving garden centers and local high school sports teams playing a waiting game. Plus, a new service in Maple Grove, one that will help residents planning to travel. But first, a new service in the Northwest Metro to help victims of child abuse. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. The northwest part of Hennepin County is getting a new tool to help children victimized by abuse.
An organization that provides services to child abuse victims will now have a presence in Rogers, and Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on that. Delane?
Mike and Alex, when a sexual assault involving a child takes place, the Rogers police chief says that the authorities have to bring the victim to Corner House in downtown Minneapolis to be interviewed. But starting next week, local police can take them to the Rogers police station instead.
Well, Corner House downtown is the only location within Hennepin County for these interviews, and unfortunately they've exceeded their capacity. So booking a time to get an interview done and to get the aftercare done for our outlying suburbs, our outlying communities, very, very difficult. So decentralizing that, bringing it out to our communities where the scheduling is much easier, it's easier to get there, it's easier to get our families to the aftercare is paramount to the success of this program.
Officials from Corner House and Hennepin County gathered at the Government Center Monday morning to make the announcement. Officials say that in 2017 there were more than 20,000 reports of child maltreatment in Hennepin County. These blue signs represent the thousands of children abused in Minnesota each year. Officials in Rogers say the new Corner House Satellite Center will have a big impact on the Northwest Metro.
They can come to Rogers, we have parking available, walk in, do your interview right there, and more importantly, long term, we'll have the aftercare, the medical exams, the mental health practitioners, the forensic workers, the social workers, and others that will care for our victims.
Now, the chief says they still need money for this project, so on April 15th at 7 p.m., the Rogers Rotary Club is organizing a concert called A Night of Hope and Healing. For more information on how to buy tickets to this event, we have a link on our website at ccxmedia.org.
All right, Delane, thank you. In Golden Valley, the Animal Humane Society is treating a large number of dogs after a case of animal overcrowding.
A Carleton County couple surrendered more than 40 Chihuahua and Chihuahua breeds to the Animal Humane Society last week. There were too many dogs in too small a space, and many hadn't been spayed or neutered. Some of the dogs are pregnant. Staff members say the biggest hurdle the dogs face is getting used to being around people.
If you are looking to adopt one of these guys, then know that it is not your typical easy, just bring home and ready to go type pup. It's going to take some patience and time for socialization and for house training. These guys aren't used to going outside to go to the bathroom, so be patient with them, please.
The couple will not face criminal charges. The first 2 dogs from this batch went up for adoption on Monday and are expected to be adopted out quickly.
The list of candidates to become the next superintendent of Osseo area schools is now down to 4. 2 out-of-state candidates withdrew from consideration. Now, here are the 4 finalists. 3 are from out of state. Another, Kelly Parpart, is currently the assistant superintendent of Osseo area schools. Interviews begin today, and residents can attend the interview sessions and provide written feedback on the candidates. In Brooklyn Park, discussions pick up again on the issue of overnight parking. The city has received many complaints about overnight parking, especially around apartment complexes where there is a lack of available space. Currently, no parking is allowed on Brooklyn Park city streets from 2 to 5 a.m. from October 15th to April 15th. The City Council is exploring 3 options. One is keeping the ban as is, shorten the parking restrictions by a month, or go the other way and enforce the ban year-round. A community survey shows the majority of residents favor shortening the ban.
You can now apply for a passport at Maple Grove City Hall. The new office is upstairs, and the space was previously only used for absentee voting. City staff started the process to become certified to offer passports at this location last year. Hennepin County stopped processing applications for passports back in 2013 after federal regulations required passport offices to be physically separated from offices that issue birth certificates or driver's licenses. The city expects to process more than 1,500 applications a year.
It really seemed like a nice service to offer not only our residents, but residents within the surrounding communities. It sounded like there was definitely a need in the area.
City staff say you do need to make an appointment to use the services, and you can find all the information you need on the city's website.
Some sad news now to pass along. A longtime fixture of the Golden Valley community has died. Jim Harms, who co-owned My Music Store, has died. Harms had been dealing with a heart condition. Customers and others who got to know Jim say he always greeted you with a smile and a joke. My Music Store became a go-to place to buy instruments and receive music lessons. It was named Business of the Year in 2015 by the Golden Valley Rotary Club. My Music Store closed last year after 17 years in business. Jim Harms was 68 years old.
It may be April, but there is more snow and cold coming to the winter-weary Northwest Metro.
That means delaying outdoor activities in what is becoming a shorter than normal spring. We get more from Eric Nelson.
The day after Easter looked more like Christmas in the northwest suburbs. At Dundee Nursery in Plymouth, another snowstorm has put spring on hold.
It hurts quite a bit. It slows people down.
These cold temps are definitely putting a major dent in business.
On the weekends, we still have people coming in looking for garden seeds to start their stuff indoors, but they're not buying outdoor stuff as much.
Because of the frigid weather, Dundee is a couple weeks behind their typical spring sales in flowers, trees, fertilizer, seed, and other items.
Even our pansies, which are hardy for some cold stuff, they aren't picking those up right now because they're just afraid they're going to freeze out at night.
Dundee's annual Spring Expo is Saturday, but there won't be as many choices as usual.
Even our tropical plants that are coming from down south of California, they aren't shipping as many of them because they're afraid they're going to freeze in the shipments, so they're cutting back.
The snow and ice is also causing havoc on the high school scene. Believe it or not, baseball and other spring sports are supposed to begin this week. At Champlain Park High School, the baseball field looks more like a cross-country ski course.
We were supposed to have a track meet coming up with Osseo this week, and I know that's been canceled already, and then baseball this Friday and Saturday. I'm sure after tonight's snow and tomorrow's snow, those will probably get canceled as well.
The Rebels tennis courts are slick with patches of snow.
Frozen.
And the lacrosse fields are not even close to being ready.
You get what you get, and right now they're still hard and there's snow on the ground, and we're just waiting for those 50s and 60s to show up.
With postponements looming in all sports, it's going to be a condensed spring schedule.
I think we're going to end up having to do some scheduling changes, and then we'll end up with those weeks where you get 3 or 4 baseball games.
This cold snap is the polar opposite of last year. Temps were in the upper 50s then, and people were actually golfing. I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The Three Rivers Park District says the weather will also delay the opening of its golf courses and play areas, and the cold will linger. According to the long-range forecast, the Twin Cities won't even reach 40 degrees until Tuesday, April 10th. Just what we want to hear.
Just what we want to hear. Still ahead on CCX News, a big box transformation in Brooklyn Center. That's coming up next in Business Matters.
Plus, Osseo boxer Caleb Truax is set to defend his world title. We'll hear from the champ.
But first, no smooth transition into spring. Plowable, slushy snow is expected on Tuesday.
Brooklyn Center is in the midst of a transformation.
Redevelopment opportunities have the power to change the look of a city, and work at one high-profile site is already underway. In this week's Business Matters report, home furniture is moving in near Highway 100, and it's bringing with it more than just home furnishings. From Highway 100, it will be difficult to miss the newest business moving into Brooklyn Center.
And it's going to be mostly glass windows. You're going to be able to see quite a bit inside of our store at night, day, any given time.
Home Furniture has big plans for its new home inside a former Kohl's store.
We see what's going on in the area, and we're really excited to come into Brooklyn Center and, help bring some jobs here, help bring some new fresh faces.
Construction crews are already at work renovating the inside of the 2-level, 7,500 25,000 square foot building, and soon there will be a 25,000 square foot addition.
It's kind of like a one-stop shop for anything your home would need. You know, we got accessories, lamps, we got bedding, we got mattress departments, patio furniture.
Preliminary drawings show space for not only flooring and rugs and interior and exterior home furnishings, but there's also more than 12,000 square feet that will be leased to other tenants. Think 4 to 6 different businesses next to home furniture.
We want to kind of help the area grow. Our goal is to add some more competition with coffee shops and some restaurants.
It's exactly the kind of development Brooklyn Center wants to see. Nearby, a new Bank of America is coming, and across the street, the former Brookdale Square site is positioned for new housing and retail.
To have brand name businesses coming into the community, building new, investing here, it speaks volumes for the opportunities that exist here, and I do think over the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see significant transformation in the community.
Home furniture executives like where they're sitting near Highway 100 and Bass Lake Road.
It's the old saying, location, location, location. And one of the things is there's 60,000 cars a day going by here. Plus across here, there's another 15,000.
That volume of traffic combined with the area's plans for redevelopment make this a perfect home. And Home Furniture plans to open in Brooklyn Center this fall. Up next, why the long lines Monday at a Crystal Little Caesars pizza restaurant.
But first, local players get set for girls and boys all-star basketball competition. John Jacobson has the details next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Some of the top senior boys and girls basketball players in Minnesota hit the court for all-star competition later this week. That includes several players from the Northwest Suburbs. Highlighting the local boys players are 3 standout guards from the Northwest Suburban Conference. Jarius Cook of Park Center, Josiah Strong of Champlin Park, and Zach Tyson from Osseo. The girls' all-star games will include Autumn Liner of Maple Grove and Jacqueline Jarnett of Maranatha Christian Academy. Here's the rundown for the boys All-Star Series. Local players in addition to Cook, Tyson, and Strong are Anthony Davis and Joe Hedstrom from Hopkins, Bijan Newbern of Maranatha, and Joe Dunn of Benilde. The boys event is held over 2 days. Friday night at St. Cloud State, it's blue versus green at 7 o'clock and maroon versus gold at 8:45. Saturday, the scene shifts to St. Paul for games at 2:30 and 3:45 at McAllister. The girls' All-Star games are Saturday at Carleton College in Northfield. Liner and Jarnett are joined by Angie Hammond of Hopkins. Games are at 1 and 3 p.m. There's also a free youth clinic for girls in grades K through 4 put on by the All-Stars and the Timberwolves and Lynx Academy. This Saturday, world super middleweight boxing champion Caleb Truax of Osseo will face James DeGale, the man he lifted the title from late last year, in a rematch. It's Truax's first title offense, and Jason Melillo caught up with him to talk about the upcoming fight.
Caleb Truax will defend his IBF super middleweight title on April 7th in Las Vegas, the first defense of that title, and Caleb is with us now. And so Caleb, tell us, how did this fight come together? It's going to be in Vegas, and what was the process in putting this fight together?
As soon as that last fight was done, I was pretty confident my next fight would be a rematch with DeGale. I think there was some writing in the contract that stipulated that he would get a shot at the belt if he were to lose it. Yeah, I guess I was hoping they would be made in here in Minnesota. They were talking about doing it at the Armory in downtown Minneapolis. That didn't work out, so we're headed to Vegas.
How's training going? How are you feeling now?
It's going great. This is the first time in my career that I've had this much time to prepare for an opponent, and I've already fought him, so I know what he brings to the table. So I want to be really, really prepared. We've had, I basically knew about the fight in January, so we've had 3-4 months to really prepare and kind of draw out our process that we normally get done in 6 weeks or 8 weeks to 3-4 months. So I'm really ready to roll.
Last time you were the underdog, you were the unknown. this time you're the champion. He's going to have to come at you maybe differently than he did. Is that something you're preparing for? Do you expect him to come at you differently?
I'm still the underdog, man. I heard I was 6-1 underdog, so I might bet some money on myself when I get out there. But no, and it's up to him to make the adjustments, man. I'm gonna go out there and do what I did the last time, is put pressure on him. I'll be ready for the adjustments that he does make. My coach Tom Hall said, came up with a plan of some things that he thinks he can do to be better this next fight, and if he does them, I'll be ready. If he doesn't, it's going to look a lot like the last fight.
I saw an interview with DeGale recently, and this guy, he's still saying that you're a basic fighter, that when he is at his best, he says he's healthy now, that he's going to beat you. How does that make you feel? You're the champion. This guy is still talking smack at you. I'm
more motivated this time around. Like I said, I'm an underdog according to the experts, and he's still talking. He said I was basic, and I basically whooped him last time, so I'm okay with that, doing that again. A lot of people are saying it was a fluke, he wasn't healthy, blah, 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 blah. It's all excuses, man. I'm gonna go out there and show everybody that it wasn't a one-time thing, and I'm gonna beat him up again.
All right, Caleb, good luck.
Thanks, man.
That's Caleb Truax, IBF super middleweight champion. He will defend his title on April 7th in Las Vegas. It's the rematch against James DeGale. In Coon Rapids, I'm Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jason. This will be Caleb's first time fighting in Las Vegas. You can see all the action on Showtime Saturday night starting at 9 o'clock. That's all for sports. Alex and Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Up next, a little satisfaction over a busted basketball bracket.
The college basketball first leads to a Little Caesars first when we come back. Well, here is a case of turning lemons into lemonade.
Or maybe a busted NCAA basketball bracket into a free pizza. People lined up outside of the Crystal Little Caesars location or around the lunch hour to pick up a free lunch combo. A few weeks ago, Little Caesars tweeted that if a number 16 seed beat a number 1 seed, it would give away free pizza on championship day. Well, that happened, of course, when the University of Maryland, Baltimore County defeated number 1 seed Virginia. And Monday, Little Caesars delivered. Fans were glad that the company kept its word.
My bracket's probably not going to make it, though.
But you got free pizza.
I got free pizza. That's pretty good.
That's all that matters.
And they had to stay with what their words were. So if they didn't win, and if they did win, we win.
The company was also giving away vouchers to those in line. This was the first time ever that a 16 seed has beaten a number 1 seed in the tournament. So for all those who picked Virginia to go all the way, a little comfort food.
Yeah, and I think they were in a hurry to get them home, too, while they're still hot.
While they're still hot, that's
like
right.
This.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, right.
That is all the news for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again Tuesday, starting at 4 o'clock.